Hi, this is Jill Varvel with the Dixiecast podcast. In this week's episode, we're going to feature Beautiful Lives Thrift Store. Beautiful Lives is located in Bentonville, Siloam Springs, and Fayetteville, and serves women who have been victims of human trafficking and domestic abuse, along with an assortment of other harmful conditions. We're going to tour all three stores today and conclude this episode with an interview with their board member, Diane Higgins. So why don't you come along with me as we tour Beautiful Lives? We're first going to visit the Bentonville store, which is located at 1327 South Main Street. It has great visibility and plenty of designated parking. The first thing I noticed upon entry is the lighting. The store is surrounded by windows, therefore there's a ton of natural lighting throughout. Another thing is it smells nice and clean, has upbeat music playing, and there's even an area where you can grab a cup of complimentary coffee in each store. I'll be showcasing their three stores today, and we'll conclude with an interview with their board member, Diane Higgins. This store I'm featuring, the Bentonville store, in my opinion, offers a little bit of everything without feeling too overwhelming. The layout in relation to its size is just right. It's not as large and compartmentalized as the Fayetteville store, and not as small as Siloam Springs. But like all Beautiful Lives stores, the quality of merchandise stands out. And you really don't have to look hard either. For example, you can go to the rack-marked sweaters and not shuffle through ugly, outdated sweaters from 1992. You'll find fashionable sweaters that are in good condition. Best of all are the prices. Well, candidly speaking, maybe that's the second best, because there's a real satisfaction in purchasing from an entity that you know is actively working to make other people's lives better. The Siloam Springs store is located at 103 North Mount Olive Street and is the store I've most frequently patronized. I'm told that a lot of the students and employees of John Brown University frequent the Siloam Springs location. I was overjoyed to find a leather fossil over-the-shoulder purse for $20 and some Christmas sweaters for those obligatory parties. I regularly see brands like Coldwater Creek, J. Jill, Banana Republic, Guess, and Ann Taylor, just to name a few. I also see some occasional Old Navy and also brands that are unique to stores like Target. But I'll tell you what, you're not paying those name brand prices, and it'd take a pretty scrutinizing eye to know the difference. Not that anyone really cares. The employees at the Siloam Springs stores have become familiar to me, as they're all so friendly and attentive. Another thing to note about the Siloam Springs store is it's located in their downtown, therefore it's very walkable should you decide to patronize some of the other cute downtown shops. By way of comparison, aside from its smaller size, I'd say that another distinguishing trait about the Siloam Springs store versus others is there's not designated parking. However, there's plenty of street parking very close by. Each of the stores have a little sitting area, and they all have wonderful dressing rooms with pretty curtains and pretty lighting. Lastly, the Fayetteville store, located at 245 East Township Street, is actually their flagship store and is by far their largest. This makes good sense to me, as it's located in closest proximity to the University of Arkansas and is on a well-traveled intersection just off College Avenue. They usually have a seasonal display. For example, today, this is their wonderful New Year's Eve selection of blingy, festive clothing. What I love about the Fayetteville store is its organization. Every room is labeled with a big sign above the door, denoting the merchandise you'll find inside. For example, there are rooms marked tops, coats, pants, and dresses. There's also a sitting area in the middle of the store where I'll often see nursing moms or children playing with toys from what I believe is a toy basket that belongs to the store. How well thought out to have such an area in the middle of the store. In addition to several clothing rooms, there's a pretty impressive shoe area, all organized by size. In all of their stores, I've observed formal wear, and even wedding gowns. And like everything else Beautiful Lives puts on the floor, it's clean and in good quality. This is a store where women, regardless of socioeconomic status, can buy something pretty and of good quality without the pressure that might otherwise come with such a purchase. There's a little something here for everyone, and who doesn't like to save a little money? There's something very special about a store that doesn't stop at providing affordable apparel for those in need, but rather it goes the extra step to ensure there's dignity in the experience. As I was leaving the Fayetteville store, I noticed a sign in the coffee area near the door that read, "Please let us know how we can pray for you," and that put a smile on my face. All these things, coupled by a caring and kind staff, makes for an edifying and uplifting shopping experience. This is Jill Varvel with the Dixiecast podcast, The Sound of the South. Today, we're going to interview Diane Higgins from Beautiful Lives Thrift Store in both Siloam Springs, Bentonville, as well as Fayetteville, here in Northwest Arkansas. I chose to highlight this thrift store because I so appreciate the things that they do, and Diane serves on the board for Beautiful Lives, so she seemed to be the most natural person to interview. So if you like this podcast, please hit like and subscribe. So Diane, how would you describe Beautiful Lives?
Well, Beautiful Lives is like nothing else I've ever experienced, actually, myself. It is an upscale thrift boutique, and it's just an elevated experience from any other thrifting you've ever done. I can guarantee that. Something that actually kind of inspires me is that it's kind of an honor to my mom. She once a week she went to Goodwill and took perfectly good things, that she said, "I'm not using this, somebody else can use it, and I want to honor the Lord this way." She just really believed in that. So she would just be jumping up and down thrilled about Beautiful Lives Boutique.
Nice. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to be involved in Beautiful Lives.
Yes, well, I've been here in the Northwest Arkansas area for about 12 years. And we're very active at New Heights Church, and they needed some help just with leadership in the organization a few years ago, and so I jumped in and helped out there. I've been on the board for several years, and here recently I've been helping out in Siloam Springs store, which has been a really wonderful experience for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if I, just knowing what you've told me, and if I personally, needed some help, I had, some setbacks or what have you, and I showed up at Beautiful Lives, what might I expect?
Well, first off, you're going to expect kindness and care from all of the team, because we're all about women and lifting women and mending communities. And so our first goal is always to help and to minister to women. And so if you come into our store, you're going to encounter great kindness and ladies that want to help you. And so if you were to have had a crisis of some kind, very likely we would be just donating clothing to you and just helping you out in that way. We're able to do that when needed, and it's every much as of a ministry as it is a nonprofit business. So we're excited to be able to help people, women. Mm-hmm.
And what motivated you to get involved in Beautiful Lives?
Well, I believe in, every day that the church should make a difference in people's lives. And so just getting to be a part of that. And I mean, it actually helps people in a bunch of different ways. First of all, you can donate. When you clean out your closet, you can donate your clothing to a place that it's actually going to be used and recycled and repurposed, so that you're helping the environment. You're also helping other women when you do this, because all of our profits go to 10 different organizations that we support. And so everything that you give makes an impact in the world and on another woman's life. So that's really meaningful. And then actually just coming to shop and being a good steward of your money and saving money, you can find wonderful clothing there, and you can look amazing and help the environment at the same time.
You know, I just so appreciate hearing that because, you know, thrifting is kind of increasingly, I don't know, become more hip. I don't know what, I mean, let's face it, inflation, things cost a lot more today. And a friend from my church mentioned Beautiful Lives, and she mentioned it like I knew what it was, and I'm like, what's Beautiful Lives? And then I'd subsequently heard other women talking about it, and so when I visited, I just couldn't believe what I saw, because it didn't have the feel of a thrift store.
No,
it just
doesn't.
not at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so thank you for
Yeah.
providing that
That's
to
what
our
we want.
community.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so like when, I mean, I know maybe people from the audience hear this and they're like, wow, this is awesome. How can members of the community get involved? How can they potentially serve Beautiful Lives?
Well, thanks for asking that. There's several different ways you can, obviously by donating clothing, but also we have lots of roles for volunteers. We have a huge volunteer team. Our staff is about 50 women, but we also depend on our volunteers. They come in and help process the clothing, and also we have spots for you if you like doing admin work. We have obviously a lot of things you can do to help there. We have a creative team that constantly is creating new things for our social media, and there's just lots of ways to get involved as a volunteer and to be a part of this amazing organization. I have loved being a part of it. It's really exciting.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed when I've entered the store, just as mentioned, I mean, it is so like artistically and artfully, fashionably put together. I mean, how do you guys screen? Like, this is something I wondered, because I'm like looking through the clothing and I'm like, wow, this is this name brand.
Yes.
How do you screen? Like, how do you screen what you're going to keep and sell? I mean, you guys are like professional.
Thank you.
got it together.
Thank
I'm
you.
like, wow.
We have some talented ladies on our team for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's your staff that
Mhm.
ultimately
Totally. It is totally a team
Okay.
effort. Now we have an actual processing department, and we have a team lead in every store for that, and they will actually go through every donation that's given to us, and if it's something that fits well with our store, then we keep it and steam it, wash it if needed, that kind of thing, but get it curated and ready for the floor. And then if it's something that probably wouldn't work for what we're doing, we need to go ahead and donate that to Potter's House.
Okay.
And if it's something they can't use for whatever reason, it will still get used, as it'll get shredded and used for insulation. So every item that's given to us is donated in some way to some organization, and will do some good in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you have like regular like events, for example, like fundraisers or anything of that nature?
We have not done fundraisers up
Okay.
until now, obviously, because, well, when people donate to the store, that is, donating to us. We are looking at doing some in the near future, some fundraising events, but we do a lot of different events in the community. We have a community engagement leader, and she gets involved and does a lot of things with our community partners. And one thing that we've done recently is Shop My Closet, and so the gals at the university were able to share a lot of their clothing, and then we were able to integrate that into the store. So we do some events in the community, just haven't done any fundraisers at this point.
Sure. Well, I know you have 3 stores.
Yes.
You have Fayetteville, Siloam Springs, and Bentonville.
Right.
What does the future look like for Beautiful Lives? Have you contemplated other locations or anything of that nature? Or maybe you can't talk about that. It's
No,
okay.
we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we can talk about it. We actually just helped a ministry partner of ours in Memphis to help start a store. It's not Beautiful Lives brand, but it is a similar store, and we were able to partner with them and help them get that launched, and it's doing really well. We basically, New Heights is a planting church, and so anywhere where we planted a church, we hope to plant a Beautiful Lives as well, because the store is supported by the church and through the ministry of the church, and so we would love to have that wherever we go. We'll just see where the Lord leads. One thing that we've talked about and are excited about the possibility is a possible men's store in each location, and so that's something that's on our radar and that they're praying about and working toward, and would love to have anybody's input on that would like a vote, because I think there seems to be a lot of interest, and so we're excited about that possibility.
Absolutely. That was one of the things I was kind of hunting around one of the stores and, like looking, but yeah, I realized that that's okay. I mean, there's certainly a great need for serving the women in the community, but yeah, that sounds really great.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciated your joining me for this little interview.
Thank
and
you.
If you have a little extra time today,
Yes,
perhaps we can just ask a few more questions.
I'd love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question that I was curious about is, so your 3 locations are really well suited for each individual community. Just when I think about accessibility, parking, visibility. So I was curious, how did you land on those locations? If you'd care to share about that.
Well, we started our first store. Melody Taylor is our founder, and she was in Little Rock, and she had a little ministry called Shop My Closet, where she started selling used clothing for ministry purposes to donate to missions. And so she had a lot of friends that would give her clothing, and that turned into a really great ministry business. And so she moved here to Fayetteville to be closer to family, and joined us at New Heights, and began Beautiful Lives Boutique. The first one started out on College Avenue in a rock house, beautiful little rock house with terrible parking, and so we found a better location on Township, which was just better suited as far as parking and just accessibility is concerned. So we moved that store there, and then not too long after that, we found a location in Bentonville that was very accessible and a great place to start that business. It was actually a new building, and so that's a very lovely location. And then in Siloam, we were really blessed to work with the Chamber of Commerce there. The head of the chamber, Arthur, is just amazing and so supportive of us. And they rent us our little building there, the little historic building on Olive Street, for a very reasonable price. And we just love being a part of that downtown community, and the Siloam, just the whole Siloam sidewalk vibe is so much fun. It's just a great community, and we have loved being there and the support that we have from the chamber. It's amazing.
That's so important to have community support, and part of your success, I'm sure.
Yes.
Just in the time that you've been involved, is there like a individual person or maybe even group of people that comes to mind in the way of maybe a very special blessing?
Yes. Actually, one time I was in the store, and a lady came in, and she was visibly just really shaken up. I think she and her husband were on their way somewhere, and he suffered a heart attack, and so he was on his way to the hospital. She was, I think, in kind of her bathrobe or maybe some old sweats, and she was so unnerved and upset about the way she looked, and she was having to go to the hospital. So we were able to pray with her and help her find a nice outfit to go to the hospital. And we gave her several different ones so she could change clothes while her husband was there. And it was just a sweet ministry time for us. And obviously, the clothing that she got blessed her tremendously. And so to give meaning to inanimate objects like that but clothing is an important thing to people, and to me it's a real way to tangibly love people, is to help them with this part of life. We have to be clothed to go do our life, and so it's just an amazing opportunity that we have to touch people. And we've had a lot of times people have had a fire or some kind of catastrophe in their lives, and we're able to provide clothing for them, and maybe grown daughters, you know. And so it's been an amazing journey.
Yeah, and I'll bet one that's probably had an impact just on your own life, just
so much.
having the ability to help people like that, and just know that God's using you in that regard. I mean, that just must be very fulfilling and satisfying.
It's so fulfilling. In fact, this last little time that I've served in the store, I had never really been a part of the actual processing and putting things out on the floor, and then people buying them, and working in the role that I'm in right now. I've been able to experience that, and it's just been, I mean, it's really life-changing to me to see, you know, how God can take something like this and really make a difference in people's lives for the kingdom. And so it's been amazing to be a part of.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So with regard, and I know that I looked at your website, and there's mention of other charities that y'all have partnered with. Are those charities that you have appointed yourself? Are they, how did those charities kind of get involved with you guys?
Yes, well, early on we started partnering with certain ministries to support them and to give our profits to them. And eventually we ended up with 10 different partners. Several of those are Diva and Dude out of Bentonville. They help a lot of people transitioning back into life, maybe, you know, coming from a different season. But also Saving Grace is very well known here, and they help girls who have aged out of foster care. But that's 2 of our 10 partners. One is Going Near Ministries, where that's Melody Taylor's ministry in Africa, and so we're able to donate to her every month. So we give a substantial amount to each ministry every month, but also we have a partner of the month that we focus on, and you're able to give extra at the register if you want to, and so we're able to give a very substantial gift to the partner of the month on their month and highlight them, let people know about their ministry. And so in that way, just we're able to just multiply our efforts, really, to just help them get the word out about what they do, and also just support them financially, which is everything, to help them keep the doors open.
And when did Beautiful Lives start? Like what year? I don't know if I asked you that question.
It was 2016.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So relatively recent.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you've just done a tremendous amount of good in a very short period of time.
Well, we have an amazing team of women. Jessica Urenga is our director, and she's recently been on maternity leave, so we've had Daphne Smith, who is an amazing leader in her place and has done an amazing job keeping everything going, because there's a lot of detail in it with processing and with social media and all the things that we do. But we have a very, very talented team of women who are creative, and they've really put all their energy into this amazing organization to help it do good in the world.
Yeah. So I think we're going to wrap things up, but I wanted to just ask you how people can find you, social media, etc. If you want to just rattle those off, that would be great.
Sure. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and maybe Twitter, I'm not sure, but Facebook and Instagram are our main sources. So that there's Beautiful Lives Boutique Siloam Springs, Beautiful Lives Boutique Bentonville, and Beautiful Lives Boutique Fayetteville. And so go on our website and our social media, and kind of see we've always got some kind of fun sale going on or a special going on, and you can find out about those there. But we would really love to let you know about our stores and invite you to come see us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time today.
Yes, and it's great to get to know you.
Yeah, this was really provided a lot of really great information, I think, for the community at large, and just especially people that would like to get involved. So thank you again, Diane.
Thank you, Jill.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today on the Dixiecast podcast, The Sound of the South. We'll see you next time for another heaping helping of Southern comfort for your ears.
There's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and a sunny side too. Though we meet with the darkness and strife, the sunny side we also may view. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day. It will brighten all our way if we keep on the sunny side of life.